peace and security are very critical, and governance, which often rides alongside those two. So we must make sure that peace and security are achieved first, and then governance ordinarily cements. So where there is lack of governance or governance is compromised, it does give rise to instability. And when it does provide instability, then you find that peace is actually threatened, and therefore security may not be realized. Any investor who wants to come into this region, they want to come into a peaceful environment. For them to put their money, whatever amounts of money they carry, when they invest it here, they must feel safe and secure with their funds, with their investment, that they can actually get a return without having to worry about that investment. The citizens that are here, they must feel comfortable and safe that they can actually grow and develop. Young people have got children, they must actually grow and feel safe that they can develop, go to school, work, and actually grow old. I must grow old, you must grow old in this area without feeling threatened and any worried at any point in time. That's the key piece. The second is that regional integration, but it's more on the programming side, because SADC and the Secretariat here develops programs and processes that are of regional nature. It is the programming that must impact and affect the common people in this region, such that we are able to develop more people than just a few individuals. And I think the opportunity exists in the agro-processing area that I spoke to earlier. A lot of the region utilize agriculture to actually feed itself. So if we can develop and grow the agricultural sector and actually develop more in the agro-processing in this space, you'll find that a lot of our communities, most who are marginalized, single household families and whatever, or single-headed families, women especially, and young people, they can actually partake in the agro-processing space. And then we can have more people actually be impacted and affected. Mineral beneficiation will just cover a few areas. Pharmaceuticals will only cover a few areas. But if you talk agri-processing and agricultural sector, there is a highly likelihood that it will affect more people. And I think the last one is just really making sure that our cooperating partners, international cooperating partners, we assist them, work with them to make sure that they do exactly that which we are doing. They support us, capacity, resources, and all other areas that we need for us to be able to achieve ideals and aspirations. So I think the key theme for me is what I often call IEC: information, education, and communication. And it's something that I want to do while I'm still here, to make sure that we educate the common people, somebody who's in the village. How do we make sure that that person understands SADC, understand what SADC does, even to themselves at that area. The policies that we have, the strategies that we have, how do we communicate those to the remotest parts of the member states or the countries that are in this region. So I think it's to circulate a lot of information, and how do we take it out? So we use all the various tools and platforms that we can use. Nowadays you are talking social media and other things, so we'll exploit those. Education, how do we educate the citizenry within the region so that they understand SADC? And education includes even going as far as engaging parliaments. I've been talking quite recently about going into parliaments to talk to members of parliament so they understand when the Minister of Finance asks for funds, whether it's South Africa, whether it's Mozambique, to pay into SADC, they must understand why that money is required to go into that area. And then communication, obviously, the things that we are doing, the things that we plan to do, the successes we've achieved, how do you communicate and relate those things to those member states? The second is visibility. How do we become visible as SADC and as the SADC region to the very people that I was talking to, whether it's students, whether it's the general public, but again, those people that are in the remotest areas and so forth. So when you achieve things, how do you actually publicize those things? How do you grow them to make sure that they are doing exactly that for people to see and realize those benefits? And I think our programming is such that it affects people. Many people then talk about SADC. If they see policies, if I talked about agriculture earlier on, when we see those impact happening on people like women that are heading households and so forth, and they're actually doing projects and programs that are related to SADC, they will be the ones talking to. It will not be us actually talking about that. So that is how I see people changing their attitude towards just seeing it as an elitist organization, but they see the impact that it brings to them.